So today we're joined by the Gary Gumbleton from Capital Content. So Gary
Gumbleton, brilliant. Yeah,
he is the creative director of Capital Content. So we're going to have a creative director off today on the podcast. So also joined by Lee, wherever he is on the screen. He's up there somewhere. So again, the concept's the same. What we're going to do is we're going to use our random idea generator. We're going to come up with a completely, hopefully unique business idea, and then 15 minutes on the clock, come up with a complete business plan or something along those lines. So yeah, that's the plan. So Lee, why don't you kick us off, bring up that idea generator, and let's do this.
Let's do it. Mate, I'm excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let me share my screen. And let's get the idea generator. So...
Oh, have we got sound effects? Like... This is
I wish we did, Gary.
Wheel of Fortune style, right?
Yeah. Gary, make the sound effects and you can come back on anytime.
Right, are we ready?
Ready.
Let's do this.
Okay, so just let me unhold this, and I'm gonna roll. Okay, so a paid graphic design service for cab drivers. Now, we've got the opportunity to hold any of these, and Gary, we've got 2 more spins left. What are we thinking? Anything we want to hold here? Anything we're excited about?
Me personally, I'd like to hold for cab drivers, because that's obviously a massive thing, right? Uber, Uber versus Black Cab in London as well. It'd be good to think about what we can do for those guys.
Cool.
Okay. Jake, happy with that?
Happy with that, yeah. I don't want to touch graphic design since I know nothing about it.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's roll again.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
A blockchain-based ad agency for cab drivers.
Wow. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, blockchain, very topical, right? Buying the dip. Ad agency, well, we're both kind of ad agencies, right? So I think we'll be cheating if we drop those. Yeah. I would like to get rid of both of those.
Okay,
what about this is our last roll,
this
right?
This is our last spin.
Oh, God. Okay, let's do it.
Right, let's do it.
I like how we've rolled the most boring thing we could have in the universe.
Okay, cool. Let's make it sexy then, shall we?
Right. So I'm just going to write this down. So a personal insurance provider for cab drivers.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. Right, Jake, kick us off.
Yeah. So I suppose we now have the outline of what the business is, kind of. Question: what do we do? So we've
what's the objective? What have we got to do here? Do we want to come up with a business name and then how they go to market, that kind of stuff? Is that what we're doing?
Literally everything. As we said, I mean, we've got a whole 15 minutes to take this from idea to, we're going to package it up, and we're going to be launching this in 15 minutes time. So we need to figure everything out.
Cool. I'm currently on Company's House registering the business name as we speak.
Too late. I'm already a director.
Okay, cool.
I've already resigned.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is a personal insurance provider for cab drivers. Okay, cool. So I think straight off the bat in my head, right, this personal insurance provider has got to be an ex-cabbie, right? Or at least they've got to appeal to the cab drivers, right? They've got to be, and I'm obviously taking it from the south of England, let's say London. They're kind of like, oh, all right, geese, I think it's going to be, what I feel the campaign has got to be very relatable, and it's almost as if, like you look at those Uber videos, Uber adverts where they're like, get in a car on one side, at their house, and then they walk straight through the car, come out the other side, and they're at the club, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think if we think about the actual product itself, I don't think it's necessarily about car insurance, quote unquote. I think there's an element of safety here as well, or security, right? There's like personal protection, you know, because like, it's not just about crashing your car, it's about the people that you let into your car, you know, not only from a physical perspective, but also now COVID and from a medical reason that he needs to have insurance to make sure that kind of thing, right?
What about loss of revenue cover? Because you think about we talked about Uber and everything. So there's disruptor brands coming in, and what this has done is obviously shaking the market up, and people have lost their livelihood. So could there be an element of this is there to protect the industry as a whole? So it's about the individuals. It's not just about, as you said, it's not about someone crashing into their car, but this is protecting the cabbies themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what, there's kind of like 3 levels, right? There's like the level 1, this is your product development, right? Level 1 is just classic car insurance. Level 2 is the personal insurance, so protect you against physical or medical harm, let's say. And then the third one is then loss of revenue, right? Due to those other 2. And I almost feel like, you know, just coming it from a digital agency perspective as well, you could also have liability, or, you know, liability insurance. As a cab driver, you can advertise on the cars, right? But then obviously you need that you know, what's it called, professional indemnity, or whatever you call, you know, just in case you bring in that brand into disrepute, you need to be able to advertise on that car. But let's say someone draws a graffiti genitalia on that on the advert, and then you get told off for it, right? So from a product development, you've got gold, silver and bronze. Rather than call it gold, silver and bronze, I would call it Prius, Prius, Tesla, and then whatever, you know, the top one is Ferrari, I don't know, whatever, you know.
Okay.
Or what about Nissan? Is it good? Have you seen the Nissan Leaf?
Oh yes.
As a guy who's into all things engines, I find it offensive. Not because it's saving the planet, just because it's the worst thing I think I've seen.
Honestly, it's literally made out of plastic, right? So maybe that's the entry level. Nissan Leaf. Yeah, your Nissan is classic car insurance. Then your Prius is, you know, the Prius product is the mid-level, which is where you get personal and medical insurance. And then the third one, which is Tesla, that includes your professional liability or loss of earnings, that kind of stuff. So there's your 3 product names.
So I'm just over here thinking of the lawsuit from Nissan when we published them as the entry level.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they probably sell so few cars they can't afford a lawyer. So I mean, we're fine.
That's right. They also need loss of revenue insurance, right?
Well, I mean, we could just call it Leaf, Prius, and Tesla.
They're internal project names. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm thinking name though, and this popped in my head. So, Gary, you were talking earlier about how the cabbies talk, and it needs to be relatable. Because actually, the word insurance is horrible. Whereas, how would a Southern cabbie driver say, "All right"? How would they greet me as I got in the cab?
Well, mate, you could say anything. Right, mate. Right, bruv.
How's it going?
Why do we call it? All right.
All right. Yeah. Right.
It's in their vocabulary, right? So they're already using it. It's there. It's relatable.
Yeah. Do you know what? You're right. But I'm just thinking, if you think this is like a cover, right? This is protection. What do you cover a car with? I mean, it's kind of like seat covers, right? I'm just spitballing, just throwing words out. Is it almost? Oh, and there's you also have like spray, like upholstery cover. Oh mate, there are so many things. I also have, for some reason, this Arctic Monkeys line where it says red light indicates doors are secure, and that is a little sign that you get in black cabs to say that when the doors are closed and the car is moving, a little red light is on so the doors don't open. So that protects you from falling out. So I don't know whether we can tie in an Arctic Monkeys track as like the music for this advert, whatever it might be.
Yes.
But from the name, I mean, I see kind of like the trouble is, right, we look at London, or I'm thinking from a London perspective, black cabs, right? But you guys are up in, I'm assuming, Edinburgh, right? Yeah, so it's completely different. You guys have mini cabs. What do you have, your version of black cabs up there?
we've got black cabs, but the only problem is the people who drive them don't talk to you. So we don't really have to worry about the vocabulary. You get in a cab in Edinburgh and you go, "Oh, hey mate, how's the night been?" And they go,
"Grunt."
So,
okay, cool. Okay. So what we'll come back to that. What else do we need to think about? So we've got product development.
Mm-hmm. I suppose we've got a pretty niche target market, right? And actually the problem is these guys are on the road a lot. So thinking about how we deliver the advertising to them, it's one, a problem, but also two, there's probably quite a few interesting ways we could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking, you know how you've obviously got the kind of cabbie central that gets on the radio and goes, "Hey, can you pick up Margaret from that place
the office
home because she's a mess?" What if we got tied in with Cabbie Central or the companies? I mean, literally we paid them to advertise their own cabbies, right? So, you know, every third time they have to go in the tannoy, they're like dropping in a little bit of product placement. Like, have you picked up?
Yes. So you sponsor the HQ, right?
Exactly.
And like every time they let go of the CB radio, it automatically plays like a 15-second advert. The personalcabinsurance.com, whatever it is, you know.
Yep.
That's good. And what I also pick, you know, that's obviously product sales, but if you want to like thought leadership, indirect sales pitch kind of stuff, you could do, you know, a series on like confessions of a cab driver. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe not fake taxi, but more confessions of a cab driver, where you have like the GoPro in the middle of the, you know, the car seat, and actually they're talking, or is it, you know, it could be like carpool karaoke style. You know, that kind of sponsored by, you know, personalinsurance.com, whatever it is, you know.
Carpool karaoke, but filmed exclusively at 3:00 in the morning on a Saturday in Hackney.
Yes. And they're playing The Killers, Mr. Brightside. They're playing 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. Topical. Yeah. But, you know, like, it's just the bangers, right? I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. Like that, you're totally right, man. That's what you want to do. Carpool karaoke, 3 a.m. carpool karaoke with the cabs.
Yes,
love that. Sponsored by the insurance company, because you know, because at that point, then you're going to get that people shouting with no masks on, or probably people getting a little bit rowdy, and you do need to kind of highlight the fact that there is a physical and medical element of protecting yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you've tied it back there.
Boom. I went Mr. Brightside to COVID in like 2 seconds.
2 seconds flat. Yeah. I'm thinking there's some kind of traditional print media as well could work nice here. So like I feel that it's going to be quite a quirky, strong personality brand. So could we have some really bold kind of billboard advertising back at buses?
Do you know what? Absolutely, it's definitely bus backs, right? Because cabs are going to be stuck in traffic. But I actually think instead of print, it's more radio, because they're on their radios all day, every day, right? Because you've got to appeal to the drivers, you know. And so I think that definitely, bus backs 100%. To say, are you protected, or how, you know? And you could kind of make a joke about how close they are to the back of the bus. Mm-hmm. You know, to say, you know, how are you 1 meter plus? Do you have insurance to cover that 1 meter, or whatever it might be? You know.
Yeah.
But then I think radio, a nice short little radio jingle, could work really well, because that's where their office is in front of a radio, right? I personally, for me, advertising my business, I wouldn't go on the radio at all. In fact, I sell against it because it's difficult to report on. It's not where my audience is. But I think for this business, that's where the audience is. They're sitting in front of a radio 8 hours a day.
I don't know, Gary. I think you're missing the trick here. I mean, I would listen to your radio show.
You listen to me personally. You'd listen to my radio, absolutely, yeah. You know, without doubt. But then, you know, it could be podcasts, right? I mean, if you want to do confessions of a cab driver or cab driver karaoke, you could just export that, chuck that on Spotify as your own little podcast, right?
Sounds good. Nice YouTube channel as well. There,
yes, a YouTube channel. Honestly, that's huge.
Can I? So we've got 3 minutes to go. This goes quick. What about a launch campaign? So we understand the target market. We've not got a name yet, but we'll come back to that. Launch campaign. How are we going to capture the attention of the ideal customer?
What kind of budget are we looking at?
Well, this is the. I think this is.
They're round 2 of seed funding.
Yeah, I think we've got.
They got a couple of mil in the bank. Yeah, I love it. It's definitely insurance, right? It's a lot of money. In my head, do you know what I see? What's it called? What's that? REM. Everybody hurts. Everyone's stuck in traffic. or like the opening scene to. It's like a new musical. It was called. Oh man, I can't even think about it. But they're in traffic and everyone's dancing on their cars, and or like car running, or they're running through. They're all on a big motorway and stuff like that. Man, I forget what a musical is. Anyway, I think that's what it is, and it's kind of like, get protected. Uncle Sam wants you, kind of thing, right? Big V-shaped crowd walking through over the tops of cars on a big highway, saying, "Are you protected?" And then there's like a lead guy, and he turns to one side and he sees like someone coughing without a mask, and then turns to the other side and they're having a bit of argy-bargy with a kebab, and he say, "Look, you need to protect yourself or pass these people." That's what I picture in my head straight off the bat.
It's very like Dollar Shave Club, like.
Yes, do you know what, that was in my head too, but I use that example way too many times when I'm pitching the cards.
Yeah.
So definitely Dollar Shave Club, because it needs to be humour. It's got to be cool, right?
The idea that I've got in mind, right, is a bunch of cabbies that all look like stereotypical cabbies, right? All meeting each other. So this also ties back to my name, Alright, right? So he walks in, so a group of people's like, "You're right, I'm alright, you alright? Yeah, I'm alright." And then at the end, the call to action is like, "Are you alright?" So it's like this whole
Oh, I love it. Yes. They look at the camera, they break the fourth wall, and they go, "You're right." And I like the fact that that's all they say to each other.
Yeah.
What I also love is your London accent.
Thanks.
Oh yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
So, just like Gary, I'm loving. Well, actually, both your ideas there about the kind of launch. I imagine that being a kind of TV ad as the core. But I'm like, we're almost up. What I'm imagining, like, I think we could actually use the assets, so the taxis themselves,
to
then bolster the TV campaign. So I imagine like the characters that we create through the TV, we can almost then portray them onto cabs. So we can have like, was it Uncle Sam?
Uncle Sam wants you. Do you know what? I'd probably go one step further and you rip off I hate this guy, the Go Compare Man. Mm-hmm. So we all know the Go Compare Man, right? I think what you would do is actually you'd pick 10, let's say, actual cab drivers that have the insurance, and characterize them, make them the people. So if the public were to get into that car and they go, "Oh my God, you're John from the cab insurance adverts," boom, there's a bit of user-generated content, there's engagement, and then we could put those on the side of cabs as advertising to go alongside the TV program, right? Sorry, the TVC.
Amazing. So Jake, we are now officially over time. Can you recap and tell everyone what happens next?
The first thing we're going to have to do is, anyone who's listening or watching this, calm down. We've already copyrighted the whole thing. It's not, you can't have it. But if you want to buy it off the three of us, that's totally cool. So we've got a personal insurance provider for cab drivers. It's called Alright. It's got 3 levels of protection, specifically designed for the modern cabbie. Number 1 is your Leaf level. That protects your car, right? Kind of basic. Level 2 is a Prius. That also protects your car and your personal. Level 3 is revenue protection as well, right? So when that Uber driver starts sniffing around your patch, you don't have to worry. You can still afford your kebab at the end of the week because you've got this insurance. We're going to be looking at some really, really kind of targeted and almost old school kind of marketing techniques. We're going to be using kind of the actual internal CB radio. We're going to be using radio campaigns, television, and possibly a wee bit of print. And it's going to be called Right.
Mate, sign me up.
Yes. Boom.
That's it. It's now capital cab drivers. that's my new business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't wait.
I don't know about you two, but I'm exhausted. Like, I think I've excelled more energy in this call than I have for the whole month.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Jake, how can people find out about what comes of this potentially?
So what we'll do is, if the idea stands up, what we'll do is we'll actually brand it up. We'll give it to the designers, and then we'll make like fake branding for it. Or not fake branding, real branding.
Right. Yeah.
So again, yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this thinking, do you know what that is a cracking business idea? Well, it's there. You just,
take
Gary,
it.
Gary, I feel like you have got the character within you, and you've got the camera set up. I feel like you can be the face of this campaign. Just saying.
What?
Just putting that in there.
What?
What? You're right. Yeah, I'm right, mate.
Yeah, I'm right. You're right.
Mate, this has been great. I've really enjoyed this. Let's do it again.
Good, amazing. Well, thanks, Gary. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And that's us.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
See you soon.
Catch you later, man.